Hello cooks, and welcome to the community kitchen. For those of you that haven't seen any of our cookery videos before, my name's Charlotte and I'm the community cookery leader here at the Food Partnership. I am here today to show you how to make roasted vegetables in tomato sauce, and you may have received this recipe in your in the bag recipe kit. So I'm going to take you through how to make this recipe, and I hope you enjoy. So what you're going to need for this recipe for roasted vegetables and tomato sauce is some vegetables. So we're going to be using peppers today. So I've got 3 peppers, an aubergine, 4 cloves of garlic, some black pepper, which I've got here, a little bit of salt as well, and some oregano and some tinned tomatoes. And this recipe couldn't be easier. It is so delicious. You can have it with rice, with pasta on its own, as a jacket potato topping. You can make it into lasagna. It's one of my absolute favourites and it's so tasty. So the first thing we need to do is preheat the oven. So I've got my oven preheated here at 200 degrees. And what I've also done is I've got a baking tray and I've lined this with paper. You don't have to line it with paper, I've just chosen to line mine with paper today. Sometimes the veg gets a little bit stuck. And the first thing we need to do is roast off our vegetables. So we've got peppers and aubergine today. You can try this recipe with roasted courgette. It works really, really well. You can try it with roasted tomatoes, or you can do a mixture of all peppers, aubergine, tomato and courgette. Give it a go. Today we're just using peppers and courgette. So we're going to prepare our peppers first. So you might have seen my no waste pepper video, but for those of you that haven't, I'll go through it again. So you're going to pop your pepper on the board upright like this, and you're going to use your knife to slice the walls off the pepper. Okay. And if it starts to get a bit wobbly, you can pop it down on its side. Chop off the bottom, and then you've got minimal waste there on the end. Just got the seeds, so pop that in my food waste. And I'm just going to pull off the membrane of this bit. And I'm going to chop up my pepper into chunks, and I want to try and make sure that the chunks are mostly a similar size, so they cook at a similar time. Something like that. Don't need to be neat at all. Pop them on the tray. Okay. And you'll see that I'm using my claw hold here. Some of you might have seen my videos before where I talked about the claw and the bridge knife technique. For anyone that hasn't seen that before, I'll tell you now. So a really good way to keep your vegetables sturdy and in place and safe to cut. You can make a bridge with your forefinger and your thumb, and you can bring your knife through the bridge and slice. Another way to safely hold a knife is by making hold your food to cut it with a knife is by making a claw. So you tuck your thumb under and fingers over, hold on to whatever you're cutting and slice. And the fronts of your fingers here protect your little finger and your thumb. Okay, so I'm going to chop up my veggies. Now, aubergine. So an aubergine, I'm going to show you how to prepare it. So the first thing we need to do is just chop off the little bottom end bit. You don't need to take loads off, but that very tip is quite hard. We'll take that off, and we're going to take off the stalk as well. So you can pull up the leafy bits of the stalk, and then it exposes the bit you need to cut off. So you don't need to cut lots and lots off the top of this. Okay. And the best way to get chunks from a aubergine is we're going to cut it lengthways first. So using my bridge, I'm going to use a bridge, and I'm going to cut lengthways slices out of my aubergine. So there's one. I'm going to do the same here. And then if the last bit you've got left is quite big, you can do the same again. Just chop off another slice. And then you're going to cut the slices lengthways again. So now I've made my slice into 3 fingers. Okay, and then I'm going to run my knife through the fingers to make chunks. That on my tray. So I'll show you that again. So I've got my slice here that I've sliced lengthways. I'm going to take my knife, run the knife through it to make fingers, turn it round and chop my fingers, not my actual fingers, the aubergine fingers, into pieces. Okay, I'm just going to quickly chop up those other 2 peppers while I'm here as well. So remember, I'm taking the walls off the peppers. On the end, chop them up into chunks. Making nice rough chunks. And my last one, oh, I forgot a bit of my aubergine as well. So a little pepper here. It's good to try and use a different variety, a variety of colours of veggies. Different colour veg have got different nutrients. So if you can eat a green pepper and a red pepper, those 2 different coloured peppers are giving your body different nutrients and vitamins. So the saying is to eat the rainbow. So lots of different coloured fruits and vegetables. So we're going to roast these veggies with, oh, I'll do that last bit of aubergine as well. So we're going to roast these vegetables with some garlic. So I've got some garlic cloves here, and I'm going to show you how we chop those. Okay, so I'm going to take off the bottom and the top of my cloves. And then using the flat of my knife, I'm going to bash down on that garlic. And that is going to make the skin fall away from my garlic cloves. And I'm not going to have to fiddle around peeling that. That is one of my favourite cookery tips, that is. Okay, pull off those garlic cloves. Not the cloves, the skin. And then you're going to chop up the garlic. So we want it finely chopped, but what you can do first is you can just run your knife through it to make fairly chunky chunks. And then you can do what's called a rock chop through the garlic to get it nice and fine. So a rock chop is when our tip of our knife is staying put. We can steady it with a finger or a couple of fingers, and we're going to run the blade through what we're chopping. Okay. Sorry about that. My camera just fell over. So we're going to keep the blade of the knife in place. Okay. Moving the tip of the knife in place, moving the blade through the garlic until it's nice and finely chopped. You can just keep going through that until you're happy with how fine it is. We're going to use half of this garlic on our roast vegetables. So I'm just going to pop that over my roast veggies. Pop the other half to one side for now. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is put a bit of olive oil onto my veggies to be roasted, and a pinch of salt and pepper. And I'm just going to toss the vegetables with my hands so they're coated in the garlic, the oil and the salt and the pepper. And I'm going to spread those out until they're on a single layer on my tray, or near enough a single layer on my tray. Give my hands a bit of a wipe. And I'm going to pop that in my preheated oven. And those are going to take about half an hour to cook. And whilst they cook, I'm going to show you how to make the tomato sauce. So I think if you have received an in the bag before, you may have received our simple tomato sauce recipe. So I'm going to take you through that again really quickly. So I've got a medium pan, I'm going to put that over a medium heat. And into my pan, I'm going to add a little bit of oil. So you can use olive oil or veg oil or sunflower oil. Okay, I'm going to heat up a little bit of oil in my pan. And to that oil, I'm going to add the rest of my garlic. So the other 2 cloves of chopped garlic are going to go into the pan, along with a pinch of oregano. And I'm going to cook the garlic and the oregano for a couple of minutes over a medium heat until that garlic's starting to smell like it's cooking, getting nice smell. We don't want it to get brown or burnt in any way, so it's just going to be a couple of minutes just to start the cooking off of the garlic. Into the pan with the oil, the garlic and the oregano, we're going to add a tin of tomatoes. And a good trick with the tomatoes is if you put a little bit of water in the tin, maybe like an inch or something of water in the tin, give it a little swill around. If you put that into the pan, you get all the excess tomato out of the tin, you don't waste anything. So we're going to give that a good stir. Give it a little bit of a season, bit of pepper, a little bit of salt if you want. Give it a stir. And we're going to turn that down really nice and low. And we're going to let this bubble away for the whole time that our vegetables are roasting. And what we're looking for is this sauce will do what we call reduce. So it will have gently simmered, so we want to see a few little bubbles in it over a low heat for about half an hour to 40 minutes until there's less sauce in the pan and it's thicker and glossier. By that time your vegetables should be well underway being cooked. We want them to be soft, brown, getting a bit shriveled. The browner and shriveled they are, the more delicious they taste. So you can cook those in the oven till you're happy they're done. You can take them out sooner if you prefer. Once they are done, you're going to take the roasted vegetables out of the oven and stir them into your cooked sauce and give the whole thing a really, really good stir. And then you're going to give it a taste for seasoning. You've seasoned it along the way, so it should be okay, but you can do it to taste. And you've got your delicious sauce. It couldn't be simpler. I really hope you enjoy it. I really hope you give it a go. If you log on to our Cooking Confidence with the Community Kitchen Facebook group, if you're not already on here, send us some pictures of what you've been making or ask some questions if you need to. Really hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.